So if you haven't seen my introductory video on this video series, the 7 pillars to our third dimension, I'll put it in the description below so you can go ahead and click on it to see what we are about to do here. I am out here in nature, and the first principle are the 7 Hermetic Principles. The 7 Hermetic Principles deal with this universe. It deals with where we are, how things operate. I'm just going to give a brief overview right now, and then later on we'll dive more into a lot of the different things. So the 7 Hermetic Principles start with mentalism. It says all is mind. That's where our world starts. This is where the creator actually had the vision as to what to do here and how to get to this place. The second Hermetic principle, the principle of correspondence, deals with as within, so without, as above, so below. That's the main maxiom of that principle. And what it deals with really is to let us realize that what's going on inside of us is what's going on outside of us. What it is that is going on above us is what's going on below. We're the same, or we're a part of the entire universe. And this is echoed in the Bible as well and all other religious teachings. And really, all the 7 principles are in all other religious texts. They may all just refer to them a little differently. The third Hermetic principle is the principle of vibration. Science has known this for a while, that everything vibrates. We're atoms and we vibrate. So each individual vibrates. Each thing that we see, so if I were to pick up a rock, we know that the rock vibrates maybe at a different density than, say, my skin would. My skin is softer. It also vibrates at a different density than the air around me. The air is very permeable, right? We can move through it, but everything vibrates. And so when we understand that law, we start to understand the flexibility of this nature that we go through. The fourth principle is the principle of polarity. The principle of polarity states that we have a pole with everything. It's the same in nature, but just different in degree. What that means is we have the ability to go from one pole to the other pole. You have the ability to go from light to dark. We do that every day. We have the ability to go mentally, we could say, from sadness to joy. We also have physical to spiritual. We have what we would consider good to what we would consider bad. Now, if we know that it's the same in nature but different in degree, then we can choose to vibrate really on the different frequency that deals with that polarity.
The fifth one is rhythm.
And rhythm deals with the ebb and flow of life. Things go out, things come in. It's almost like the birth and growth and decay of stuff, and then it reborns, and then it grows, and then it matures, and then it decays. Okay, it's that rhythm of life that we go through. It's also the rhythm of emotions that we'll go through as life brings us different opportunities, challenges, pleasures, desires, things that we are trying to avert. We go through that rhythm as well. The next Hermetic principle is the principle of cause and effect. Interesting thing about cause and effect is cause and effect always happens. It happens fast, it happens slow, happens faster than we can perceive, and it also happens slower than we can perceive. So something might be happening really fast right now. Let's say, for instance, I'm sitting here and I'm in nature and I'm not seeing it, but a bacteria goes into my nose and it's going through my body. I can be sick tomorrow where I can't even record because something just happened, right? The cause was my being here recording this. The effect was my getting sick. Something slower. Basically, the rock is the result of a cause. This didn't start out this way, but over time, this happened. And that is the effect of a cause. You can take it back to the things that we are currently used to, right? Where someone will get up and they went to bed later than they should because they needed to get up early, maybe for an appointment the next morning. Then they overslept because they didn't hear the alarm. They rushed out of the house and they met in an accident. Well, did they meet in the accident just because they met in the accident right there and someone actually cut them off, or they were, whatever it is at that moment? The cause could have been from the day before. It literally could have been from 24 hours before, where they did something. Let's say that they went and they drank, having fun with friends, not realizing that, what, I might want to not party as much because this might affect something tomorrow. Or they volunteered. So it doesn't have to be something bad. They could volunteer at a function and just miscalculated, right? How tired they were going to be, maybe because this is something coming from before. And I don't want to go too much into it, but you see how you have different layers of this cause and effect, right? If you understand that, you understand how to take responsibility for different things that happen in your life and then minimize the effects that happens as they go through. The seventh Hermetic principle is the principle of gender. So we have masculine and we have feminine. Masculine and feminine here isn't only referred to gender as we put gender to everything with male and female. That is really an outward expression of what may be the masculine or the feminine. Masculine means that's the part that gives order to the feminine chaos. Action gives structure to the feminine creativity. Nurture is a feminine concept, creation, things that will help us to just blossom, right? While the masculine part is the part that then helps to structure it in order. We have this in thought, we have this in physical and everything. One cannot do without the other. We also need to have that in balance. This is the
Primary.
way things are created. Like there's really no creation without a masculine principle and a feminine principle. There's no creation of physical things, without a masculine and a feminine as well. Even the rock that I was talking about, you need to have the action going through the universe and then the receptivity. So that action is the male or the masculine, and then you have the receptivity of that action. We'll just say, yep, we start the process of getting creation in place. You also have the thought process where you want to get something done and you're like, hey, you know what? It would be nice to record a video on the 7 pillars. But we didn't start out with the 7 pillars. We started out really chaotic with all different things that was supposed to happen and how we were going to present it and whatever, until, we started to get the masculine principle of action to put it together, where you start writing things down, you start figuring out how it works, and then building that structure around it. Those are really the 7 Hermetic Principles. The interesting thing about these 7 Hermetic Principles is that when you understand how reality works based on those principles, you now start to have the key to recognize what it is that you need to do in order to affect your life better. This is now an internal thing. And a part of that is going to come up in the 5 guiding principles and the 4 states of health. See you next time. Bye.